Hello, this is WSC, and welcome to a battle test of my custom tank AI versus the Frostbite AI put in a tank. For starters, both of these tanks are basically the same besides some cosmetic differences and the functional components that are used by both respective AIs. And just the only notable cosmetic differences between the two are the color scheme and some basic detailing on the back. And for how these tanks basically work is if you were to use one of these in survival, mind you, not the AI variant, just the normal tank variant, is you can refill the fuel through this cargo container on the back end, and there is one cargo container on the back of the turret to be able to fill the thing with ammo, and you get into it through this little hole right here, but mind you, that is patched up on both of these because they're not supposed to be piloted by a person. And as well, they have decent armor all around. Mostly on the turret is where all the armor is, because the actual functional components of the turret are very tiny compared to how big the turret is. And as well, it's got pretty good armor in the front here, but overall it's what I would call a pretty well armored tank. And what I mean by that is for the tank guns, for it being shot by the tank guns, it can survive a pretty good amount of hits to, I guess you could say, more vulnerable areas. But to a railgun, it is one shot no matter what. And for the outside, that is basically it. And as well, there is one weak spot, which is right here in the dead center where the barrel, the camera, and right below all of that is. Just because if you can shoot right into that, you will basically instantly disable it, because it will cut off the turret or it will knock out the gun, making it basically useless. But that's pretty difficult to do when the vehicle is moving or the turret is moving. So it's not that big of an impact, but during this test, one tank may get a lucky shot off on the other and just absolutely nail it in that spot and make the turret fly off and all that. So just keep that in mind. And just as a disclaimer, I will not be going over how my tank AI works in the video, because I would like to make a full overview of it on its own, and I would like to do more testing in it so I could refine the AI better, just because it's not perfect at the moment, but it's pretty darn good. So, and for the Frostbite AI, I'll explain how it works just in full, because it's kind of strange. So how this works is it uses gyros on the inside of it to steer it, and the body will always face the player no matter what, and it will not face other vehicles. So let's say you have two of these going after each other. The Frostbite AI tank will not chase down another enemy vehicle. They will only chase down enemy players. And I don't remember if that pertains to if there's a player in a vehicle. So I don't know about that. And as well, to go forward, it just uses wheel override. And because it uses wheel override, it can't really stop. And it goes at a pretty constant speed. But for this test, since this thing relies on the player to be able to steer, I will have to be near this thing at all times, basically to just make sure it doesn't go all over the place. And just because if I let this thing go on its own, these two tanks are just going to go straight at each other and hit each other, and that's no fun. So I'm going to try to guide this thing around so it can do some a bit more advanced maneuvers and, not just get charged down by this tank. And making sure I'm not missing anything here on the Frostbite AI. And I think that's it. So I'll just show off the arena a bit here. This is almost I believe, a 600 meter long arena, which is the maximum distance for small grid custom turret blocks and turrets. So there is no dead space in it where the tank can sit and the other tank can't hit it unless they're in the corners, but I don't think that'll happen. And as well, there's an antenna on either side, just for reference. Then not that important, but they're there. As well, you can tell standing right here at the back, that antenna, or that's probably the antenna and the tank, are just about 500 or 600 meters away. So, and as well, it's just got these lines in it, just designating how far away each area is, because from the middle here to this line right here is 70 blocks, and from the middle line here to the end, I believe, is 120. And because I think this thing in total is like 240 blocks long, and I think about a bit over 100 blocks wide. Just so it's a good arena size, but it's not over the top. But also it's not too small to where the tanks don't have enough room to maneuver around properly. But now time to start to get up in the matchups here. As well, just for reference, I will be doing 10 matches where the tanks can use their autocannon, and I will be doing 10 matches where the tanks cannot use their autocannon, because from my experience, the autocannon can be a bit overpowered sometimes. So, on with the matches. Alright, and now let the first match begin. Time to go over to the pirate tank, I guess I'll call it, because I have to guide it. Oh yeah, and global permissions allow damage and allow shooting. Seems like my AI tank has disabled the enemy autocannon. And the Frostbite AI, because of its gyros, flips over. I believe that is a complete win for my AI tank. And now the Frostbite AI tank is flipping all over the place. So that is 1 point for my AI tank. Alright, now time to begin match 2. My AI tank won last time. Let's see what happens this time. In 3, 2, 1, starting. Let's try to guide this thing a bit farther away so it's just not going straight down the middle. And damage and allow shooting. Seems like my AI tank has lost its autocannon. My tank is now sitting still. I do not know why. It seems like my tank has lost the main gun and the autocannon. So I would consider it disabled. So it seems like 1 point to the Frostbite AI as it flips itself over and sits there. Alright, match 3. It seems like we have a tie so far. And 3, 2, 1, start. Let's wait for them to get unlocked. Get this thing moving to the side. And there we go. Battle has begun. Oop. Seems like the pirate tank has lost its autocannon, and it has lost its main gun. So it seems like for this match, my AI tank has won, as the pirate tank flips itself over yet again. Alright, here we go, match 4. My tank has won twice, and the Frostbite tank has won once. Alright, in 3, 2, 1, begin. Gonna be off to this side now. Now they've started, and I'm gonna turn it on immediately. Cannot see any substantial damage. It seems like my tank has lost the autocannon. And it seems like it has also lost the assault gun as well. Well, it seems like this time the pirate tank has won. Alright, round 5. Both tanks are tied with 2 points each. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Gonna try to keep this one going straight this time, and I'm gonna see if I can veer it off to the side once I get really close. Come on. I know you can see me. Seems like my tank has lost the autocannon, and that would be the main gun gone. Oh my gosh, that sure was violent. Well, it seems like the Frostbite AI fights to live another day. And flip, like always. Alright, round 6 with the Frostbite AI in the lead. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Gonna really try to make it veer off to the side this time. See if that changes anything. Well, come on. I know you can move forward. Odd. Don't know why that happened. And here we go. Doesn't seem like either tank has lost anything, but for some reason the Frostbite AI is just spinning around. Oh, and that would be because the AI on my tank seemed to have gotten a lucky hit and been able to disable the main gun. So it seems like this is a win for my AI. Alright, round 7, both tanks are in a tie, both with 3 points each, and here we go. Make sure to make this thing not get stuck this time. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. Ooh, it seems like, seems like my tank may have shot it somewhere where the main gun had gotten stuck. So it stood still for a second there, giving my tank the perfect shot to be able to take it out really easy. With my tank with another victory. Alright, round 8. We're in the final 3 rounds now. Will it be my tank that will win, or the Frostbite tank? Or will they just tie, and will it be just super boring? Well, let's just go ahead and start. Go in here. And seems like a wheel has fell off of the pirate tank. And it seems like the pirate tank has been disabled, even though the autocannon is still intact. Seems like a win for my tank AI. Alright, round 9. Can the Frostbite AI turn this around and make this a tie, or is my tank just going to steamroll the competition? And 3, 2, 1, here we go. And seems like something was taken off of my tank over there. And the autocannon has been disabled on the pirate tank. And is that it? Well, now it is. Because the assault cannon and everything else has been disabled off of the pirate tank. So yet another win for my tank AI. Alright, round 10. This is the final round where they are able to use autocannons. Will the Frostbite AI be able to get one more point on the scoreboard, or will it just be another win for my AI? Let us see. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. The autocannon has been disabled on the pirate tank. And my tank's just sitting there. What? This is weird. It's just gonna sit there? Whoa, it's been disabled. Well, it seems like the Frostbite AI was able to bring in one more win before it does a final flip of not really winning, but winning the final round. So there you have it. Alright, so with the final score from the autocannon matches, we have that the Frostbite AI won 4 times and my AI won 6 times. So what have these matches really proven to me? Well, for starters, the autocannon's really overpowered, considering it was able to snipe off the enemy tank gun majority of the time before the actual tank guns could shoot each other. So, yeah. I wouldn't mind a bit of change for these custom turrets, just to make them a bit better and not as dumb and inaccurate. But, that's just nitpicking. But for the most part, this has just proven me that my AI that I've created with the autocannon and how it is set up on the vehicle is just a bit better than the Frostbite AI, which I'm not too surprised about considering how I made it. But I was surprised that how good the Frostbite AI is, that, you know, it still stood a pretty darn good chance. It was just the autocannon on my tank was able to get enough lucky hits on this one to be able to knock it out majority of the time, is what I noticed. And that's just because, if you haven't noticed, whenever the match starts, this tank moves, but my tank doesn't. That's just something I wanted to put in my AI, and that's the whole reason I made it. is because I wanted to make AI tanks to use in just survival and in scenarios that weren't too advanced, but were advanced enough to where if there was no enemies, they would just sit still. And it does that. But also it has this weird side effect that it will also sit still if the enemy is extremely far away, like in the very end of its sighting capacity, or the enemy is extremely fast and very maneuverable. It will sit still. So because of that, I believe that gives my tank a little bit of an edge over the Frostbite AI because it makes the guns more accurate because it's not moving and it's shooting a moving target, which isn't too hard considering these tanks aren't very fast. So for the most part, it's gone pretty well so far. And I'm curious how this is going to be without the autocannon, because then it will be purely down to the custom turret AI and the tank driving it as well. So let's start up with the matches of that to see what happens. Alright, match number 1 without autocannon. Let's see how much this changes stuff. Here we go. As you can see, they cannot hit their target from this distance, which is mildly annoying. Oh. Seems like my tank got a hit there. Oop, and my tank got another hit. Like it has disabled the pirate, considering the main gun is knocked out. And the autocannon in this instance does not matter. 1 point for my tank. Alright, here we go. Round 2 with no autocannon. In 3, 2, 1, go. Take him over here this time. Oop. And of course they missed their first shot. My gosh. I really deformed the armor. And seems like a hit on the bottom there. And now they're both... Oop! And the pirate tank has been disabled once again. And flips. Just like always. Alright, round 3 with no autocannon. My AI has won twice. Pirate AI, none. Or Frostbite AI, none. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. First shot is off. And of course, they always miss. Seems like a shot to the side. Or a miss for pirate tank, and now the pirate tank is standing still. And a tie. What would you know? That was very bizarre, and that is also very bizarre. Well, I guess I will redo this match then, because that was really bad. Alright, round 3, part 2. Hopefully this doesn't work like last time. And there we go. Oh, ricochet there, it looked like. Perfect hit there. Oh, and that's a decapitation right there. Seems like this is another win for my AI. Alright, round 4. Seems like my AI's been completely dominating. Will the Frostbite AI be able to pull it through? Let's see. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Ooh, that's a hit. And that's another hit. And that's a hit. And that is a main gun deletion. And another good old-fashioned classic flip from the pirate tank. And another victory for my AI tank. Round 5. In 3, 2, 1, go. I think I went that way the last time. Get over on this side. It's a hit. And that's another decapitation and a good old-fashioned flip. And another victory for my tank. Alright, here we go, round 6. Will anything different happen this time, or will it just be the same? Here we go. Nope. That seems like a hit. Couldn't tell. And that's a hit, and that's another... Ooh, and that's a ram. Well, even though both of them technically lost, the pirate tank lost its gun first, so I would consider that a win for my AI tank. While they both just sit here and spin around endlessly. Alright, round 7. Let's see if anything's different this time. 3, 2, 1, go. And this time I'm going to be on my AI tank's side of the arena. Just so I can watch it from a different perspective here. So that pirate tank should be moving. And here we go. That's a hit. That's a miss. Ooh, that's a direct hit. Right to the main gun. And a good old-fashioned flip. And another victory, my AI tank. Alright, round 8. Will the Frostbite AI be able to even get in one victory? Well, we'll have to see. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Come on, go this way. Here we go. And that is a main gun disable. And even a flip over the barrier. First time for everything, I guess. And another victory for my AI tank. Alright. Round 9. 8-0. Let's see who wins. In 3, 2, 1, go. this way. Nope. Did it hit the wall there? It did. It survived. And now it didn't. And a ram from my tank. And another victory as well for my tank. And first time my tank flipped. Not on its own accord, of course. Here we go. Round 10 without the autocannon. Will my tank be able to completely dominate the other tank, giving it no wins? Or will the Frostbite AI be able to show that it's not completely useless? Well, we'll have to see. In 3, 2, 1, go. Looks like a miss. And that was a hit, and an absolute stopper, too. And another hit, and a flip. And there you have it. Frostbite AI has been defeated for a final time, and my tank has won for a final time. Alright, so the final scores are in, and it seems like my tank absolutely dominated the category without the autocannon, which is to be expected, considering the tank cannon with the custom turret cannot hit something past 400 meters because of its bullet drop, which is kind of strange in all honesty. Why should the autocannon be able to hit something past that far? Well, I don't know, in all honesty. But it just goes to show that my AI tank, if it can get a good hit off before the enemy can fire back on it, it will usually win. And as well, overall, my tank is a good amount better than the Frostbite AI in the same tank. And what does this really prove to me? Is that the Frostbite AI, it wasn't really designed for tanks. It was designed for simple rovers and drones for the Frostbite scenario. And what was my tank AI designed for? Well, it was designed to be an AI for a tank. So it obviously shows, considering my tank just absolutely wiped the floor with the other one. And as well, I've learned that there may be another weak spot to this tank design, considering that final round there, you may have seen my tank got a shot off on the back end of the pirate tank here, and it shot out the battery, but it did a lot more damage than I was expecting, so I'll have to look at that. See if there's a weak spot I don't know of. And as well, just in general, custom AI is the way to go when you're designing vehicles, because you can make it how you want it. You can make it work how you want it, and you can make it work way better than just using some random script or using the built-in AI block for the game for a vehicle. So, and as well, just in general, like my tank AI, while I will not go into how it works all that crazy, like I said, it is actually, in a way, far more basic than the Frostbite AI, considering the Frostbite AI has to use an external method to be able to steer, which is its gyros, while mine, if you've ever noticed, turns its wheels to be able to steer. So, because of that, it tends to be a bit more stable when moving around, and it doesn't flip all over the place like the Frostbite AI does. But like I said, the Frostbite AI wasn't meant for big heavy rovers like this, or, main battle tanks in this case. But I did think of this. What if you took the two and combined them? You get the flexibility of the Frostbite AI, but you also get the just purely focused for a tank AI of this. That may be pretty good. But there also would be a pretty good amount of conflict there, just considering how this works compared to the Frostbite AI. So I don't know if it would be completely feasible, but it would probably be feasible to make my basic AI into a script and then put it on a programmable block with a Frostbite AI core, and it would probably work, but I don't know. So, but to say the least, this has been a very interesting test, just to show how Frostbite AI works, and it was fun. I mean, who doesn't like a good bit of just chaotic tank combat every so often? So, and also, this test does show that, if they were able to fix that problem where custom tank turrets are not able to hit anything past 400 meters, I mean, it would just be like a Western duel. These things activate and they fire, and whoever is the more accurate of the two wins. Because that's just how it seems to me. But, as well, even if they don't fix that little issue, even if it's not even an issue to begin with, let's say you were to replace this tank gun here with a railgun. Mind you, yeah, it's going to take a lot of power. Yeah, it's going to be expensive for what is supposed to be, a not too expensive tank. But because of the extra accuracy of the railgun, it would never miss its target with the AI in it. Mind you, of course, it would have a fair amount of other issues, considering it couldn't shoot near as often because of the railgun charge time, and as well, that would just leave it open to attack very, very easily. So you win some, you lose some, I guess, if you were to put a railgun on it. But just in general, I've learned a lot from this. I hope you have too. I hope this may inspire something, maybe for you to create a tank with some sort of AI system like this, or just to play around with the Frostbite AI. And if you're curious how to get the Frostbite AI, just load up the scenario, go into one of the areas that spawns one of the drones in, blueprint it, paste it into a world like this, and turn off damage, cut open it, and get that remote control block and just paste it in. And then it should work with just some minor tweaking of gyros and all that. And so, yeah. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.